polls have One Nation well and truly in the contest in what's shaping up to be a litmus test for their popularity. We'll have the party's Western Australian leader, Caddies, on live with us next. Hello, welcome back. You're with Afternoon Agenda. The Secret Harbour by-election in Western Australia is coming up this Saturday, and it's looking like a tight race between Labor and One Nation. Joining us live now is One Nation's Western Australian leader, Caddies. Rod, good to see you. Thanks so much for your time. Yeah. I know you've been out on the ground, hitting the hustings daily for weeks now. Tell us, is One Nation going to win? Do you have it in the bag?
Oh, I think it's exciting times. We have got so much support out there, you know, right through the hustings when we were on the ground talking to people leading up to pre-polling. Just so many people said they were coming across to us, including union, you know, delegates and, you know, all sorts of people from Labor, you know, moving to One Nation.
So you think you have an extra member of Parliament after this weekend?
Oh, I'm feeling confident. We're not getting ahead of ourselves, but quietly confident that I think Luke's done a great job on the ground and people know him.
Mm. Tell us about that mood on the ground. What messages are you hearing from voters?
They definitely want change, and I think even the fact that we won't form government and, you know, Labor have brought out such a dirty campaign and people are loving that we've kept it clean, that Luke's just saying that he'll be a loud voice for them there, he'll hold them accountable. It's not going to change government by changing that one seat, but what it will do was give him a very strong voice every day in Parliament, making sure that he's representing the people of Secret Harbour.
Well, that's an interesting point, isn't it? Because the state Labor government in Western Australia is so strong that losing one seat doesn't really impact the numbers that much for them. So this does give voters a bit of a free kick, really, against Labor. Is it just that, or is this a wider movement that you're seeing, do you think?
No, it's definitely a wider movement. One Nation, we have got so much support all round, and it was already building. This is just a chance for the people to show that momentum and what we've been getting. So now it's their chance to put their name on a paper and say, we've had enough of the two parties, you know, not looking after them. They've neglected, especially the Labor Party, who have been in government now for 9 years, and they feel totally neglected in that seat.
I have heard that you've got a sea of orange out at the early polling station.
Yes.
Has that translated into financial support for you? Have you seen a flood of donations?
I wouldn't say a flood. We've had we've had only a couple of big donations, and they're disclosed on there and they were reported. But most of them down as low as, you know, $5. We've had $5, $10, $25 and $50 donations. A lot of them, but not in huge amounts. We're still only like, you know, it's not a lot of money. Yeah.
And how does that work? I see that you've been outspent by the major parties, or by Labor, I mean, when it comes to advertising and social media and the like. Is WA still sort of self-funding itself in terms of your One Nation party, or are you getting contributions from the federal?
No, it's definitely funded in WA. We haven't had $1 donated to us from federally, so we've been raising our own funds, and we're pretty happy with that. I think we want to make sure that we're being accountable, you know, to the people of WA, and that, you know, moving forward, we can't rely on other people to succeed. You know, that's what we are doing in WA. We're holding our own here.
But how much are you relying on Pauline Hanson as the brand? Like, if Luke Hurtigan wins this Saturday, is it his candidate win, or is it Pauline Hanson? Because your critics are suggesting that there's been so much focus on Pauline Hanson and the brand, and not so much on the individual candidate and local issues.
I think if you're always going to get a combination of both with the party. Obviously, Pauline is the figurehead. She's been a strong person. I mean, people love her, but don't take away from what Luke has done on the ground. And people are coming in there not calling out Pauline. They're coming in calling out Luke, coming wanting selfies. They're saying, you know, glad we've caught up with you. So he has really made a name for himself in Secret Harbour. He's done the work and people identify him. They like him. He's a relatable character.
What did you make of the fact that Anthony Albanese didn't decide to drive the hours south to go and visit Secret Harbour when he was here this week?
Well, you only have to look at his, you know, he was here looking after corporate donors, you know, like, political lobbyists with big $10,000 a head, you know, raising money for his party. I mean, he's got a candidate who is working for a big corporate organisation running in that seat, and you know, Labor have had all that money coming in from these people, but he couldn't make time to come down and see the people in a by-election. I think it's disgraceful, actually.
When we look at One Nation broadly, we have seen a lot of distractions for your party. Almost every day there's another story about one of your federal colleagues stepping out of line, saying the wrong thing, getting a policy wrong. There's speculation that the newest member, David Farley, might not last very long inside the One Nation tent. Yeah. Is that distracting? Would you like to see the federal party get its act together a bit more?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I think because we're so small, it's highlighted a lot more when there's one person and there's only a handful at this stage. Labor and Liberal have their fair share of things. Look in the Northern Territory, you've got a guy on assault charges. There's all sorts of things going on within other parties. It's just there's a lot more of them, so there's more focus on us as a party because we're smaller. So one person stands out more than if you're in a larger group. And I'm sure we'll fall into that line when we win a lot more members at the next election.
And when it comes to some of those key policies, one of the sticking points has been on net migration levels, and we've seen various members within your party having very different ideas of what the right net migration level would be in terms of your policy. What is your view on that?
Well, I guess I'll let the federal team, work out between themselves and what's going on there. I'm a state member. I know my figures here, and I know that we've tipped over 3 million people well and truly earlier than we were meant to. In the last 5 or 6 years, we've had 400,000 people come to WA. That is a huge number, and our infrastructure and services aren't keeping up. That tells you something. I brought it up in Parliament. Labor aren't doing what they need to look after the people of this state and country. So we need to drop, the numbers of migration, and One Nation can guarantee they will do that once elected.
But you don't have a specific number in mind in terms of a net migration level of 100,000 or 200,000 or whatever it may be?
Well, like I said, I'm concentrating, the fact that they changed in 2019 the immigration status for skilled migrants into WA, and they class Perth as a regional area. So we've had a flood of people. So my concentration is working on the numbers of what we can change here, and I'll be lobbying the governments to try to reduce them numbers and take it out of that, get rid of that regional status for Perth again, because Perth is definitely not regional. We need people out in the regions, but all these numbers coming in is too much. And
when you say that the federal seats should be on notice, essentially, here in Western Australia, when you look at a seat like Canning, Andrew Hastie's seat, after spending so much time in his electorate, because Secret Harbour falls into the federal seat of Canning, what's your message there for Andrew Hastie? Is it watch out?
I've said it over and over to the media. I won't be targeting him necessarily, but I'll be helping my federal members win every seat we can in WA. And I think the way we're travelling at the moment, we're on target to win numerous seats, and I'm sure Canning will be one of them. I'm going to be trying my hardest to win that seat for One Nation, along with my federal, colleagues. So yeah, I mean, him along with many other members in WA should be preparing to vacate office.
So numerous seats you're targeting. This Secret Harbour by-election, you're targeting Labor. Are you putting Labor on notice that federally their seats are on your wish list as well?
Oh, definitely. I think, you only have to talk to people in the community to know that Labor definitely aren't being liked by their traditional hard, that middle-class working family anymore. They're not supporters of Labor anymore. They're all coming across to One Nation. They believe they have been let down by the Labor of new. The Labor of old aren't around anymore. And the same with the unions. A lot of union members are coming to me. We had one union guy come yesterday and give me the red shirt and say, I'm done with Labor. Can I swap this for an orange one?
Okay. We had, I had Kim Beazley, the former ambassador to the US, Labor leader, in here in the studio a couple of weeks ago, and he labelled Pauline Hanson a national security threat if she was Prime Minister. We know that she failed to name a number of international leaders in a News24 documentary recently. Do you think Pauline Hanson would be a good Prime Minister?
I believe she'd be a way better Prime Minister than the Prime Minister we've got now. So what does that tell you? We've got someone that everyone telling me they hate at the moment. So to say, that she wouldn't be, they can say that. The same as they say we wouldn't be able to look after the economy. Well, we've just tipped over $1 trillion in debt. Tell us who's looking after the economy now.
Rod Caddies, really appreciate your time. I'll be seeing you there on the ground in Secret Harbour on Saturday evening. It sounds like it might be a Pretty good night for One Nation. We'll have to wait and see how the votes turn out, but looking forward to it.
Thanks, Ashley.
Well, do join us. That's all happening from 7 p.m. WA time, 9 p.m. Eastern this Saturday. We'll have live coverage for you of One Nation's by-election battle against Labor. As I mentioned, I'll be there. Trudy McIntosh will be with me. We'll be bringing you all the results and the reaction from Secret Harbour.